everyone! Hi, hello. Hello. Welcome to, Free Talk Fridays. Yeah. Sorry if my avatar is acting a bit laggy today. For some reason, my iPhone is acting super weird with the internet connection today. You know, this is just making me, this is just making me all the more, anticipating, all the more excited for whenever VTube Studio comes out with the whenever it comes out with its screen capture update, with its webcam update, because once that happens, I won't need to rely on my iPhone so much anymore for capturing my model's movements. And so this means that, you know, more incidents like this are less likely to happen. And my model is moving again, hopefully. Maybe. No, it's not. Okay, now it should be. Did it move slightly? Did it move slightly? Hold on, let me try again. Connect. So I think I've discovered the source of why my model moves in this the atrocious way it does. And it's because, like, my iPhone has a tendency to connect and disconnect from the internet down here. I have no idea why it does this. I really don't. So, like, it connects and disconnects randomly from the internet down here. And I have no idea why. I have no idea why it does that. Just does. And so, because it connects and disconnects so frequently, that's why my avatar kind of, you know, starts and, you know, it kind of stops and starts. It kind of goes around and fits and starts. So yeah, that's why it happens the way it does. So today, it feels like it seems like the internet is not cooperating with me today. So it may just well be that you're going to be seeing this kind of cardboard cutout of my model instead of me, you know, moving properly. So, but we'll be continuing the Free Talk Friday as normal. I'm just kind of hoping that my this hellish experience ends soon, because God, I want to get out of it. I want to get out of it as much as everyone else does. So moving on from this, how are you all doing? How was your weeks up till this Friday? I'd really like to hear about, like, how things have been going for you all. Yeah. I hope things have been going well for you. For me personally, this week's been mostly good. You know, I've been I managed to take that contemporary art midterm, and I think it went well. I'm hoping it goes well. And yeah, that's how it went with that. I produced some artwork I liked. I'm continuing to work hard at my opera singing piece, and I've got another big piece in store for this Friday. This Saturday. Sorry, I've got a big piece in store for that, so I'm looking forward to working on that. Well, Austria, it's here to it's good that you're resting after your burnout. That's good to hear. I'm glad for you that you're just you're taking a break, because that's important. That's important when, you know, you've burned out from work. That's what's most important. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just try something with my iPhone. I'm glad to hear you're doing better, though. That's really good. I think that's the most important thing to that's the most important thing to do when you're burned out. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about the Wonder Egg priority episode for this week too. You know, I was going into it, you know, like, oh, so we're having a group episode, you know, a group episode about, like, the inner workings of the system and stuff like that. We're going to be having an episode from the Akabros point of view. And then, you know, as I was watching the episode, I kind of just gradually realized, oh, it's just a recap of the past 7 episodes. That's great. Yep. I mean, you know, on one hand, I'm kind of like, my attitude's kind of like, well, you know, that's not the worst thing they could have done, because, like, you know, people were how do I put it? Some people would have kind of forgotten, like, what's transpired over the last few episodes of the anime, and so, like, this would be a good, this would be a kind of good refresher on, like, the concepts of the episode, what all the main characters are after, really, with the system, that sort of thing. So it's not the worst thing, you know, it's not the worst thing they could have done in terms of a, Oh, yay, my model's working! Yay! Hopefully. It was working for 2 seconds. It was working for 2 seconds, come on. Come on. Yeah. So, it was good. I mean, I feel like it was a, it's kind of an episode that I personally found was, I guess necessary, but also bummed that it was a recap episode at all. Like, it gave out important information. It gave me a good refresher as to what the main characters' goals were, and it kind of cleared some ambiguities that I was worried about, which, you know, kind of made me relieved. So, you know, I'm happy about that, but at the same time, you know, I was expecting more content because I eagerly await every new episode of Wonder Egg Priority. So, like, finding out that it was just a recap made me go, ugh. But the next episode seems interesting, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's enough about me and to Wonder Egg Priority. Anyways, that's really good to hear. That you've started playing Hades, Gabriel. That sounds like a, you know, I've heard a lot of really, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've heard a lot of really good stuff about Hades. Like, I know that Supergiant Games is really good with, like, treating their workers really well and stuff, which makes me really happy as a game dev. And, you know, I've heard a lot of really good stuff about their previous games, like Transistor and Bastion and stuff. I actually have Bastion in my stream library, so I've got to get to playing that sometime. But yeah, no, I'm really happy that Hades is making them find even more success, and I'm eagerly awaiting their future projects. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. And hello to everyone who's here right now. Yay. Yay. So yeah, in terms of how I've been doing, you know, apart from the exam thing, which I already mentioned, I'm excited about tonight, actually, because my school's doing a Chinese night tonight, like a Chinese food night tonight. So, like, I'm really looking forward to that, because I want to eat they're serving, like, rangoons and dumplings and stuff like that, so I'm really looking forward to picking up some of that and having that for dinner and just eating all of that. Like, I am super looking forward to that. I don't actually speak much Spanish, unfortunately. I don't. If you wanted to talk to the Spanish speakers in my family, you'd probably want to go to my little brothers, because they study Spanish pretty closely, whereas the language I study more closely is Chinese. So yeah, Chinese is the language that I really focus on. I also have a decent grasp of French up to GCSE level, and German. I've studied 2 years of German. But that's all I can really say about myself in terms of languages that I can speak somewhat proficiently. Otherwise, yeah, I have either very limited understanding of languages, or I don't speak them, or I don't speak them at all. Sorry to break the bad news here. Yeah, my model is moving again, because it's briefly gotten I restarted my iPhone, and so like it's connecting with the internet down here again in kind of fits and fits and starts, but yeah, it's kind of working again. Yeah. But again, as I said earlier, you know, I'm really looking forward to that webcam update to VTube Studio, because that means it will make my model move again. I wouldn't say I'm the best at teaching languages. Like, I'll be honest, when it comes to teaching things, I think my twin sister is better at teaching stuff than I can. But I feel like, you know, if you want to pick up English like casually and stuff, you can just come and stop by my streams and see, you know, how many words you can pick up and stuff. Like sometimes with me and Japanese and stuff, I you know, go and stop by some of my favorite VTubers streams, and I try to see how much Japanese I can understand while watching their streams. I think a good starting place with, like, you know, for anyone who's interested in learning Japanese, by the way, a good starting place would be to watch like some of Corone's like RPG playing streams, like the very fast RPG, uh or the very short RPG. Like there's this one RPG Maker game she was playing where like the plot was this: like the main antagonist, the demon lord, has placed a curse all over the kingdom, in which anyone who says more than 5 words will immediately self-destruct. So like everyone has to say what they want to say in 5 words or less, and if they go over that count, they will die immediately. So a lot of the humor of the game comes from how a lot of the core concepts are expressed through 5 characters or less. And so because of that, because of the way the game works, it makes, you know, understanding the game quite simple. And so you can like and so like you can pick up the language very easily. You can pick up some key easy aspects of language easily. Also, those streams are just really funny in general, just how much they like take role-playing game traditions and just really play around with it. Oh, speaking of role-playing games and role-playing traditions, by the way, since I did the stream of Start Again, you know, on Monday and stuff, I've been trying to complete the game, so I managed to get onto the true path of the game, like the true route of the game. I managed to unlock that, but the problem is that I still can't get past the final boss. He's really hard. He's really hard to get past. And the reason why is, like, because, you know, the first time I went up against him after obtaining the true route, I was like, okay, so the thing I need to do is just constantly buff my characters and make sure they survive during the battle. So that was my strategy. And then how do I put it? And then like his tears came in. He brought up his tears as backup, and they kept on slowing my team to the point where like they were so slow that they couldn't face off against his attacks. And then my team, you know, died. And so then the next time I faced against him, I was like, right, so I only need to buff whenever their icons don't show like they are buffed in like a certain aspect. Like they don't have the speed icon. Obviously, they don't have like a speed buff, so I need to increase their speed buff. You get the gist. So I tried that. It worked out better. I managed to get pretty far into the battle, and I even managed to take out the King's Tears as backup. So I was optimistic. I was optimistic that this I would actually be able to complete the battle. And then the king launches his final attack, his like big, massive charge attack, and most of my team was on low health, and they kind of died the next turn. So yeah, that didn't end well. I'm hoping that, you know, by the next time I try the battle again, I will be able to I'll be able to defeat the king properly this time, because I really want to experience the true ending of Adrienne's game. I promised her I'd complete it, and I want to complete it, but it's so hard. The final boss is so hard. Oh. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. That kind of how it goes in like role-playing games like that. Like I did face similar kinds of troubles when I was playing Omori. Like when I was facing up against Sweetheart, that was a really difficult boss fight. But yeah, it kind of is a bunch of trial and error and finding a suitable strategy that works. In terms of my July, in terms of my favorite games, I'd say it depends on the genre, but I'd say Undertale is up there. Undertale is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. Another game I really like is, I quite like the Professor Layton series. I mean, I haven't talked about this much, but I do really like, the way, I do really like the way the character designs are done, the way their backgrounds are done, and I think a lot of the puzzles are pretty fun and inventive too. I think the best game in the series is The Unwound Future, because I feel like it has the strongest plot. The music is really good, and the ending makes me cry. Yeah. The ending's really sad. Ugh. Other favorite games. Well, I mean, I'd say Fire Emblem Three Houses is a game I have, I really like a lot, though, because of external reasons, I don't really like to talk about it much anymore. Like, I feel like it's a game that I only really like enjoying among friends. Yeah, yeah. That's the game I really don't want to. That's a game I just feel like I just want to talk about amongst friends now. In terms of other games, I like playing the Jackbox party packs with my friends too. Like sometimes I own the Jackbox party packs 7. So whenever I want to play with my friends over over Discord call or something like that, just as like a way to relax after a long week, I play the Jackbox party pack a lot. Yeah. And they're just really fun. I think they're just really fun to play among friends. Like, they're just really gentle, fun experiences, and, you can get a lot of fun after playing that. Professor Layton. I've actually never played the first game in the Professor Layton series. I really have to do that, because I've heard good things about it. I'm surprised you say that about the second game, though. Like, because the second game is one that's pretty near and dear to my heart. I really like the setting of Full Sense. The music again is really good, and I do the setting. How do I put it? The setting of the second game is quite Miyazaki-esque. I can't really describe it much better than that. Like when I see the Castle of Full Sense and something like that, I'm kind of reminded of a combination of the Castle of Cagliostro and some parts of Castle in the Sky, particularly the mining town Patsu belongs to, like with the way the mines are rendered and stuff like that. It has a very Miyazaki-esque feel, and I think that's why, the second game, the Pandora's Box, has some has some special meaning to me. And I think it's also because it was my first Professor Layton game too. Yeah. I should probably get to the first game, though. Yeah, it is very good. Oh, like the plot twist about, like, all of the citizens being robots and stuff that protect Flora? Yeah, it is a pretty nonsense plot twist, but, like, if you're willing to take the plot twist of, like, the entirety of future London being completely underground normal London, when, I've lived in London for 18 years and there's none of that shit going on. You kind of have to see it as expected with the Professor Layton series. Yeah, the Pandora's Box had a similar plot twist too, with like most of Full Sense as we seeing it not really existing, like most of the citizens not really existing, and Anton, the vampire-like figure, not really being as young as he appeared because of the gases coming up from the mines below Full Sense and creating this kind of illusion, this kind of hallucination, collective hallucination and stuff. And, the only thought I had was like, well, if you're breathing in those gases, then surely they'd also be deadly, right? Surely that, in the span of only a few hours, Anton would probably be dead by now. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Right, I didn't know that about the first Professor Layton game, though. Yeah. I still should need to check it out, though, because I've been interested in kind of Flora as a character, because I mean, I see her in the second game and the third game and stuff as kind of like the typical hostage character and stuff, and I'm just like, well, why is she tagging along with the rest of the Layton gang? And so, the first game I hear just explains that, so I definitely want to play it for that. I also played, like, the first game in the prequel series, too. It was the Professor Layton and the Spectre's Flute, I think it was that. And, I felt like, I liked that game. I felt like that game was a little bit weaker story-wise, especially since they took some fantasy things and they kind of, really play that up more. They played up the fantasy setting more. I didn't like that as much, I guess. I didn't like the plot there as much, but I did really like the Little London minigame they included with it, where you kind of created your own character and you wandered around like a miniature, very miniature version of a very simplified version of London and stuff, and and you kind of create your own household and stuff like that. It's really cute. Have I watched the anime about Layton's daughter, Lady Layton? I have not. I actually kind of want to, because I really dig her character design as well. I'm kind of interested in it because I want to see how they make the connection between her and Professor Layton. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they connect the two together. So there's that, and I mean, there's also her game, and then there's also the Layton brothers phone game where they have Layton's son, and he's an interesting character too, like with the way he goes around solving mysteries and stuff. So yeah, those are definitely games I need to check out. Yeah. In terms of other games I like though, well, I mean, I feel like Minecraft is quite relaxing from time to time. I don't know. I mean, I've never streamed Minecraft here, but I do feel like that's something I might like to do in the future. Just wandering around and building my own things and kind of getting up to mischief there, I suppose. That would be something nice. Yeah, but, I'm not really in for Minecraft for the completionist segment, like going to the nether and, defeating the ender dragon and getting to the credits and stuff like that. I'm just there to kind of build things, explore, and have a good time, and I think that's how most people play the game as well. Yeah. Other games. Oh, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series are really good. I really like that series. Like... playing Explorers of I think especially like Explorers of Time, Explorers of Sky. I mentioned I mentioned that a little bit of some time ago. But I really do like playing I really did like playing the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, and they were just really big parts of my childhood. I remember kind of 100%ing Explorers of Time and just wanting to go on all the extra missions, because the way the game just allows you to challenges you with like going through all these special dungeons and the Zero Islands and stuff was so much fun. Yeah, I think that's the other reason I haven't really gone about streaming Minecraft though. It's because there's a huge saturation in the streaming, and especially like the VTuber side of things of like streaming Minecraft or Apex Legends and stuff. And like I as much as I like playing Minecraft and stuff, I don't feel like I don't really want to add to that. Like everyone's doing it, and I just kind of want to play Minecraft in my own time rather than just streaming it to people, I guess. And I mean, I enjoy Minecraft, but I guess most of my enjoyment comes from playing it with like close friends and stuff. And since playing, playing Minecraft on your own doesn't kind of bring about the same level of joy, I just don't feel like it's kind of worth streaming it, really. In terms of, I think the games I really gravitate towards most, though, are kind of like the RPG Maker games, with a strong focus on aesthetics and story, or just like a strong focus on aesthetics. Like Yuminiki is another game I really like because it has a very good sense of atmosphere, and while its story is like very vague, like I still am like very immersed within its world and its characters through all the little details I can pick up and infer about what is it? And I can discern about Madotsuki, who she is, what she experienced, that sort of thing. Korone is very popular in Latin America for a reason. She plays games we remember, and which are not very expensive. Yeah, I feel like Korone appeals to me a lot too, because she's a very strong retro gamer, and I feel like, a lot of retro games have a lot of, and she plays a lot of RPG Maker games too. So, you know, those games in general really appeal to me as well. And because they're like so accessible and not super expensive to play, I feel like they kind of have a wide range of appeal. She's very popular in the West too, precisely because she plays a lot of like old favorites people grew up with, like Banjo Kazooie, or like Klonoa, stuff like that. So I feel like that kind of contributes to her appeal as well. I kind of want to play I kind of want to play some retro games too. Like I look at Super Mario World and stuff, and I'm like, damn, I really want to play that on an emulator. Like old platformers. I really love old platformers. They're so much fun. Actually, speaking of old platformers, by the way, have you heard of a small indie game called Eversion? I really liked that game. It's a super cool twist on the platform genre. Like, so I'm gonna probably just spoil it now. So if you wanna play Eversion for yourself, then I'm probably not going to how do I put it? I'm I'm probably gonna ask you to just kind of plug your ears for a moment. So yeah, I'll tell you when to stop plugging your ears. Anyways, the spoiler with Aversion, for those who don't know, is that like it has like a eldritch horror twist to it. So like you play as this little character, this little starlight character, and he kind of wanders through these worlds, and the way you avert is through finding like an aversion block, and when you hit it, you try avert, or you go to a different world. And at first, like aversion just seems like at first it just seems like a normal kind of like world transforming mechanic and stuff. But the more you avert and the more worlds you avert through, like the creepier the worlds get and the more distorted they get. And you know, towards the end, towards like the world 8 and stuff, they get like super disturbing. And you know, I kind of dig that. Like I kind of dig like the whole like we're gonna make the platformer genre have a eldritch Lovecraftian horror twist, and I think that's really cool. Yeah, and it inspired like quite a few it inspired quite a few later games that seem kind of cute but with a creepy twist, including, if I recall, Doki Doki Literature Club. That game, I heard, was quite influenced by Aversion for how it initially appeared to be kind of a cute slice of life dating sim game, but then it kind of gradually transforms into kind of a meta horror meta horror visual novel. Yeah, so yeah, it's got quite a legacy for such a small game, inspiring games like that. Speaking of Doki Doki Literature Club, by the way, I hear that there's another game that, you know, came out before that's quite similar to it, called Totono, or you and I think it was like you and her. That's how it was localized. But you know, they both kind of deal with like similar concepts in different ways, and you know, I find that really interesting, because like with Totono, they it deals with like, you know, a character, like a visual novel character, gaining sentience and self-awareness about the player in a kind of different way from how Doki Doki Literature deals with it. And I feel like Totono deals with it in like a more sophisticated way, in the sense that, like, you know, it really plays around with like the game engine. You can't save properly. If you choose one girl over the other, they disappear completely from like the opening of the game. If you how do I put it? You have to use a serial number included with the game to access certain parts of the game. It's really it's really meta textual, and I find that really neat and cool. But Totono also kind of has a how do I put it? Totono also is kind of more intense than Doki Doki Literature Club. I think the biggest reason is because it is it's an explicit adult game, and so that makes it, you know, that makes it kind of more of a niche game than Doki Doki Literature Club is, because despite all the scares in Doki Doki Literature Club, you know, it still is a game that doesn't contain adult content, so, like, you know, more people can access it, whereas with Totono, it contains, some kind of, it contains some more graphic scenes. Yeah. So, I mean, if I downloaded Totono, say, hypothetically, I downloaded Totono on stream, it would be the non-adult version. So, like, it would contain scenes that, the scenes that would be particularly issue-filled, would not be in the game. So they would not be in the game. But the annoying thing is that the adult scenes are important to progressing in the game. You have to actually concentrate on them in order to progress in the game. So, like, if you don't include them, then you won't know how to progress through the game to get, like, the true ending and stuff. So it's kind of at a frustrating game, and yeah, I probably would not be able to stream it. A game I have been a visual novel I have been thinking about streaming, though, was Umineko, because I do have it in my Steam library. I got it on a Steam sale, and I've been meaning to play it for ages, especially since I have, like, I have volumes of the manga that cover the first 2 episodes of the story. The first 2 episodes of the story, so yeah. I do really want to get through I do really want to get through Umineko properly, and I hear that the entire story is very good. The music also rules too, and I've been meaning to experience Ryukishi's writing for a while, so yeah, I think it's a matter of time before I start approaching Umineko for real. Yeah, well, I mean, Fate Stay Night's an interesting one you bring up, though, because, like, I mean, Rialta Nua, I could easily stream, because, like, that's the main default version of Fate Stay Night they sell nowadays, and, that has all the adult content completely cut out. In fact, it's marketed towards a teenage audience. Yeah, I remember that in one interview between Nasu and Urobuchi on Fate's 10th anniversary, they were saying, well, we're releasing Rialta Nua because we want more people to enjoy Fate Stay Night. Like, we want teens to enjoy Fate Stay Night too. So that's why Rialta Nua was made, really. And I played Rialta Nua. I have played through the entirety of Rialta Nua. So yeah, Fate Stay Night is I could feasibly stream Fate Stay Night, but I think the issue with that version of Fate Stay Night is that it's like it's an unofficial translation, and I think until Fate gets an officially licensed translation, I don't know what the legal issues would be with me streaming the unofficially Mirror Moon translated version. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, Fate Stay Night is one of my favorite visual novels of all time. It is such a great visual novel. Like, I love all the characters. Nasu's a really great writer, and I mean, I might have mentioned this before, but he has some really great female characters up there, like Rin, Saber, Sakura, Ilya, Taiga. They all feel like really very believable and likable women, and I just really like reading about them and, their flaws and their strengths and stuff. And I like Shiro as a protagonist too. He's a really great example of, like, a protagonist who you can see through the eyes of, but who doesn't necessarily have ideals that map onto the players. How deep am I into Fate in general? Ho ho ho, buddy. So before I was into Fire Emblem, before I was into VTubers, I was really into Fate. Fate was, like, my big interest. So, like, I played Fate Grand Order for quite a long time. I think I dropped off for a bit at around when the Lost Belts started. I need to get back to Fate Grand Order because I've heard great things about the Lost Belts. So I played FGO NA for a good while. I played through the entirety of Fate Stay Night. I have a copy of Fate Extella and Fate Extella Link for my Switch. I played through the entirety of Fate Extra. I want to play through Fate Extra CCC, but I think I'm gonna wait for it to get, a hypothetical remake, since Extra is getting a remake, and I'm definitely buying that. I want to play through Fate Hollow Ataraxia, but I'm probably gonna have to watch through a playthrough through that. I've watched Fate Extra Last Encore. I've read a bit of Fate Requiem. I have not touched Apocrypha yet. I've not touched the Lord El Malloy case files yet. And I am not touching Prilia for fairly obvious reasons. So yeah, that's about how deep I am as how deep I am into the Fate series. I'd say pretty deep, and I know quite a lot of Type Moon lore too. Like I've read some stuff outside of Fate too. Like I've read Suki no Sango. I want to watch the Karo no Kyokai films, the Rakyo films, and I want to play Tsukihime too, so I'm waiting for the remake so that I can play it on my Switch in my own time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super hyped about Fate Extra Record. It just seems like a real cut above Fate Extra, which already is a really beautiful game. Fate Extra is already a really beautiful game, considering it was made in the PSP and stuff, but god, Record just looks like a cut above the rest, and like the live 2D animated portraits, the upgraded models for Nero and Hakunon, the, the new music, the redone battle system over the kind of weird RPS battle system. I'm really looking forward to it, is what I'm saying, and I'm really looking forward to Nasu bringing out Fate Extra as it intended to be, rather than Fate Extra with the limitations. I'm super looking forward to it, and I'm super looking forward to other things he has planned with Studio BB2. My big hope is that if Fate Extra Record does well, we can get a CCC remake, and I can finally play CCC in English. Like, I mean, I know there's a fan translation patch going on, and I'm really I'm really looking forward to that fan translation as well. So if the CCC remake doesn't happen, then I'll probably just I'll probably just install the game on an emulator and play the fan translation instead. But like man, it's taking a while. It's taking like over 5 years or something for that system. So, I'm getting a little bit kind of crabby. Because I've heard so many good things about CCC, and I really want to play it. Yeah, I did hear that the new Fate Extra battle system is inspired by Slay the Spire, so I'm excited about that, because I hear that Slay the Spire has some pretty addictive gameplay, and I feel like that would be a welcome reprieve from the kind of confusing RPS battle system of Extra. I mean, I say confusing. I still personally really like the RPS system of Fate Extra, but like... But yeah, I'm probably in the minority here, because most people I hear are like, why would you like the RPS system of Fate Extra? It sucks! And I'm just like, dude, I was raised on RPG Maker games. You can go worse. You could go Wada no Hara and the Blue Sea, which, like, has no battle system. Its battle system is, like, an accessory. I feel like Wada no Hara should have just been a visual novel, because, like, as much fun as I had exploring the settings, the battle systems are really just nothing. But coming back to Fate Extra and stuff, I really did, I really do love Fate Extra. It's probably my favorite spin-off of Fate, partially because I think Nasu's so heavily passionate about it. And I just really like the setting. Nero's involved. It's very gay. I love it for all those reasons and more. I love the jazzy music too. It's good. In terms of unpopular Fate opinions, though, I actually also like the story of Extella. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, you like the story of Extella? No, that's like terrible. And I'm like here to say that no, it's really not. I think it's a flawed story, but I think the character writing is really good, especially if you like Nero and stuff. I feel like the character writing is good, and the character moments are really, really nicely written too. Like, when you read the conversations between Hakuno and Nero during their bond events and stuff, they just feel like they're in a very natural and equal plane relationship, and it just feels like really nice and warm and cozy between them. I really love Hakuno and Nero's relationship. It's very charming. And I think Altera also is a really good character too. I feel like she's like very sympathetic and very sweet. And Tamamo's really good too as a anti-hero character. Like, she's nasty, but she has her reasons for being nasty, and she's a woman who knows what she wants, and I like that. I like that a lot. Good timing indeed, Overpower. Good timing indeed. I will talk, I'm probably just gonna talk a lot about Fate, since it's something I'm very, very into. I'm very, very into. So continuing on what I was saying about Extella, I think the gameplay sucks, but the story isn't as bad as everyone says it is. I think it's a good kind of simple story that sets up some nice concepts that tie in neatly with concepts brought up in FGO, like, fantasy trees and stuff like that. And, give some nice character moments for the three main protagonists. I wish I could say the same thing for the rest of the cast, though, given the cast is so large. But they have their own, like, nice little side stories, too. Some fun character moments. The gameplay does suck, though. I think it bears repeating, as does the graphics. But I'm glad that Fate Extella Link fixes that. Like, the story, obviously, is kind of treated like a interquel between Fate Extella and the actual Extella sequel. So that's why it's so short and so vague. But I think, Sharu is a good character. I like how the game basically lets you play as anyone you want. And the characters are, and the character interactions are really fun too. It's also just a pretty game to look at with a good soundtrack. Like, they hired Monica, who did like Nier Automata's soundtrack, to do the soundtrack of Fate. To do the soundtrack of Fate Extella Link, and it really and it sounds really good. I think Extella Link is fun, though you probably should just get it on sale, because it's quite a short game. I do like how Wada Arko draws all the characters too. Like, Wada Arko is probably one of my favorite Type Moon artists. I like her as a person. She's really cool. And I like her artwork too. She's just got a really good grasp of fashion, clothing, and character design. All of her character designs are great. I love her so much. Wada Arko is great. I love her. My other big unpopular opinion with Fate is that, get ready for this, drumroll, I think Fate Extra Last Encore is good. I mean, back when I was really into Fate, I was more vocal about this, but I do actually think Last Encore is good, and a lot of people give it more flack than it actually deserves. I think it's a good, like, apocalypse scenario, bad-end scenario for Fate Extra. So I think it's interesting in that regard. But I think what I really like most about it is that it's just Hakunero, the anime. It just how do I put it? It vindicates me for being a Hakunero fan. It's like, you like Hakunero? You like Nero being with Hakunon and Hakuno? Good job! This is the anime for you! We're basically confirming that she's in love with both of them in the same anime. Also, the soundtrack rules. Also, I love Shaft's aesthetics. I like it a lot. I don't know. I don't know how much everyone else will agree with me here, but I don't know. I ate good with Lost Encore. I ate very well. It's good. And I will die on this hill. It is a good anime. I will die on that hill. Also, the merchandise with it was very good too. Like, they released a lot of very cute Nero merchandise, and I appreciate the new Hakunero merchandise they released with it too, which is really cute too. Like, they released this really cute Hakunero rubber strap. Well, actually, two rubber straps. There was one of her and Hakunon standing side by side. There was another one of that was like a bath themed. It was like a bath Nofuro themed set of Lost Encore straps, where everyone was kind of wearing like towels and stuff, and one of them was like Hakunon. The secret one was like Hakunon and Nero holding hands together and going to the bath, and I was like, wow, they're really just going there, huh? They're really just confirming that Hakunon and Nero are the ultimate gay couple in Fate. You go, Nasu! Thank you! I do agree, though, that, like, your enjoyment of Lost Encore will vary a lot, depending on how much you're familiar with the original Fate Extra. Like, if you have not played through Nero's route in Fate Extra, then you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much or get the references as much as if you have, and you had played through Fate Extra. So part of the reason I actually played through Fate Extra was so that I could, watch Lost Encore and give my own opinion on Lost Encore properly. I think if I hadn't played through Fate Extra, Lost Encore would be a lot harder to decipher than if I had. Yeah. But yeah, I think the thing I'm most thankful for with Last Encore is its confirmation that, yeah, Nero is bi. She has two hands. She's going to absolutely, um, how do you put it? She's absolutely, she's absolutely here for dating both men and women, and we have to stand a queen like that. I love her. Stan Nero. um, I think Fate. I'll give you my thoughts on Fate Requiem from what I've read. I think the setting is really interesting. Meteor Hoshizora did a really interesting setting with like this kind of futuristic setting, this futuristic world, this future to iteration of this futuristic iteration of Akiba, and where everyone has their own servant except the protagonist, and she feels kind of she has that's kind of a sensitive spot for her, and kind of how like servants have their own like ways of being treated. They're kind of treated as separate entities to the humans who live there. So I think the setting is really interesting. I think Erisa Utsumi, the protagonist, is a really interesting protagonist too, because first of all, Fate doesn't have a lot of Fate series usually have male protagonists, so whenever we do get a new female protagonist, I'm like, huzzah. So Erisa has credit for that. I think she's cool. I think Voyager is a really interesting servant, particularly because he's like, well, a space probe. I love him. And I think they've got a lot of interesting servants and on display there too. Like servants from all different sorts of ethnicities and nationalities. But so I think it's interesting for that alone and stuff. But, I've heard that there's kind of some ups and downs with like the portrayals of like some of these servants of all different nationalities and stuff. Like one I was kind of about was like Nizambi and stuff, because at first I was excited about her because A, she had a really cool design, and B, like she was one of those very rare servants who took a lot from African culture and stuff, like Ethiopian culture, and I was like, holy shit, wow, they're really doing this. They're really introducing a proper native African servant to the Fate series. That's legitimately awesome. And then I hear that like most of the stuff they dealt with for characterization is like, oh, she's all about zombies and stuff like that. I'm like, so you're not going to talk about her being an Orisha and stuff like that? That's a shame. There's so much more you could have done with that. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but I'm still probably going to read more of Requiem because, I like the setting a lot, and I think that a lot of the characters and what's being brought up is pretty interesting too. So I think that's interesting. I think the whole lore about like Voyager being the last servant is legitimately cool too. Like when I saw Voyager get introduced to Fate Grand Order, I cried a lot. I cried at his noble phantasm and at a lot of his voice lines because, God, he's a really sweet and sad servant, and he just makes me feel like, wow, humans are so cool. We've come so far, and just Voyager is kind of a testament to that, of being like the pinnacle of human achievement, of going to space, and him being characterized as this tiny little curious 8-year-old boy makes me go, oh, I will protect him with my life. Yeah, he's really phenomenal. I do think that I do think that that Voyager is one of the best servants to come out in recent memory. I think some of the other, yeah, it made me feel really sad for a space probe, for an inanimate object, and I'm just like, this bears repeating. I cried over him. Yeah, I like whenever I see his third ascension's version of the Noble Phantasm, Pale Blue Dot, I cry. I cry, legitimately. I'm just like, oh, he's traveling so far. He's so alone. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he really is one of my favorite servants. In terms of, speaking of FGO, by the way, I feel like they've really been killing it with these last few servants. Like, I think Kichi Hogan is such a great servant. She's one of my favorite. They're one of my favorite recent ones. They're really one of my favorite recent ones because A, they're like incredibly gay because I really love it, and B, they're voiced by Ai Kakuma. And so for those who know me during the Three Houses fandom, during the Fire Emblem fandom, you know that Ai Kakuma is also Edelgard's voice actor. And Edelgard, uh... and, Edelgard is, like, my favorite character in Fire Emblem. So, like, yeah. Kichi Hogan appealed to me a lot, is what I'm saying. She's, she's really cool. I love Kichi Hogan. It's a shame that Requiem doesn't have, like, good translations in anything other than English, though. I really wish more people could read it, because it's, like, it's an interesting concept. It's a really interesting concept for a Fate series, and I do think, more people should, give it a go. Actually, speaking of interesting concepts in the, Fate series, another interesting, Fate series I feel like more people should, you know, give attention to is, Fate Prototype Fragments, which is kind of like the, prequel to, Fate Prototype. Yeah, it's like the Fate Zero of Fate Prototype. I find it kind of interesting because, like, it's told in, like, a very non-linear way, and it's told from character perspective to character perspective. And it's also told in, like, a ballad-like way. And I think that's kind of why it contributed to, like, the low sales Fate Protofrag had. Because, like, it was just told in a very unusual, poetic way, and a lot of people didn't really vibe with that, because it was kind of a contrast to the more prose-filled writings of a lot of Type Moon works. But Fate Protofrag is interesting to me because I feel like it feels very experimental in nature, and I quite like that. I quite like the constantly shifting perspectives and how we're constantly in, like, different we're in different characters' minds. Also, yeah, the prototype character designs really slap too. I like them a lot. And I think you know, Ayaka and Madoka are really interesting contrast characters. Like, you know, Ayaka being kind of like, you know, the kind of feeling completely inferior to her older sister Madoka, because Madoka is like this kind of creation kind of made to be the ultimate Madoka, the ultimate Magus and stuff, and she's kind of like, you can really tell she's the prototype, she's the blueprint for, you know, what would later become Ilya and stuff. Madoka is really interesting in how, like, you know, horrible and yet how sympathetic she is at the same time. I really like that about her. And I also kind of like too how, like, the, you know, one of the beasts makes a appearance in Protofrag too, and I'm just wondering how that beast is going to be later used in FGO, particularly because that beast 6, is going to have, like, a connection with Nero, since Nero also is heavily hinted to be a beast as well. Actually, that's one of the main reasons I'm following along with FGO at all. It's because I know that Nero's beast form is going to be released eventually, Mother Harlot, and I'm just like, where is she, FGO? Where's Lost Belt 6? I need her! I need her like air! Like, you would not believe that, like, I've been checking the Fate Grand Order data mines religiously, and I know that they've only got a few more characters to release. I know they've only got 2 more of the Sakura 5 to release. They've got 2 Perseuses to release. They've got a Sita to release, and then they've got Mother Harlot to release. And Mother Harlot is, like, the #1 character on that list for me to wait for a release for, because, like, she's the evil side of Nero I've been waiting for a long, long time, and they've been really playing the long game with you know, teasing us with this side of Nero for a long time, like in that one Gouda Gouda event they mentioned, oh, Nero has an altar, Nero may have an altar, or Nero has a strange affinity with dragons, oh, Nero has powers that a human should not normally have, why is she so reluctant to become a rider? Why is she so reluctant to become a rider? And then, like, and they've just really been caking on the fact that she's probably going to become, her beast form is going to come sooner or later, and I'm just like, where is she? I know she's going to be here sometime during Lost Belt 6, so where is Lost Belt 6? I can't take it! Seriously! I'm at my limit! No, FGO really is a bottomless well, though. There's so many characters, there's, you know, a lot of lore and a lot of interactions and stuff like that. So if you're gonna go into FGO, just be prepared to stick with it for the long run, because, like, you're really just gonna be sticking with it for the long run. Like, all these characters have so many interactions and so many issues, like, yeah. It's cool. It's kind of cool though for that exact reason. Like you get to form bonds of all these cool historical figures from all across the globe and stuff, and like you get to summon them because they wanted to be called to you. Like I think it in spite of like the gotcha aspects and stuff, I do find it really cool how there's like a lore justification for which servants for lore justifications for like which servants come to you. Like the big lore justification is that the servants, they wanted to accept your call, like when you asked to summon them. They wanted to come to you. And so when they come to you, it's like they wanted to come home to you. And I find that really cute in a way. Like you should appreciate your servants because they want to be with you. They want to fight for you. And I find that really cute. Also, like the whole concept of like, the guaranteed 4-star too, being like a servant who's really enthusiastic to be with you. If you've played FGO, by the way, who was your guaranteed 4-star? Mine was Elizabeth Bathory. She was actually the one I was hoping to be guaranteed because I find her really cute. I still have a very soft spot for her because she's very enthusiastic about singing and being the top idol, even if she like sucks at singing. I love her. She's so she's so toony. She's such a 14-year-old. I adore her. She's my terrible lizard daughter. I love her. I hope I can wait, Sieg? Sieg was your first 4-star? You got him out of the 4-star pool? Like he was the first 4-star you got like when you entered for Yuki and you had to do a guaranteed roll and stuff? Oh, he was benched ever since Ryuki. F. Can we get an F for Sieg? His Valentine's event is really cute, though. I will say that his Valentine's event is very cute. So I do recommend checking that out. If you want something wholesome, do check that out. He's very cute. Herc, Herc is interesting. Herc is actually one of the best 4-stars you can get out of that guaranteed 4-star. 4-star summoning pool. OF, you got Sumanai. My bad. Sumanai. No, I do recommend getting FGO. If you can access the US App Store, do check it out. The first 4 singularities are rough, but starting with the US singularity and onwards, it kind of goes up in storytelling quality from there. And I think by Camelot, which is the 6th singularity, that's where it really starts, having that, known high quality of storytelling that FGO is known for. And it rarely goes through a dip, except for, like, Agartha and stuff. But Agartha is skippable. That's fine. Yeah. Hercules, though. Speaking of Hercules, though, my sister, that was the guaranteed SR my sister rolled when she first started FGO, and he just like, he just really carried her team a lot of the time because he's just like he's a archetypal buster card berserker if there ever was one. Like he just hits and he hits hard. That's what he's good at doing, and so he can really carry you through like the first few singularities. Yeah. The first, in terms of 5-stars though, what was the first 5-star you ever got? And, which one is the one you got the most? Like, I'm really interested to hear that, because, the one I have at the highest NP is actually Arturia Pendragon. I got her over my entire time playing FGO. I got Arturia 3 times, so I have her at NP3, and that makes me really happy, because, like, Arturia is one of my absolute favorite characters in the entirety of Fate. The other is Nero. And, it just makes me happy, given the lore justifications and all. It makes me really happy that the King of Knights is so happy about coming home to me that she just came home. She just came home 3 times. And I now have her, and she's one of my most treasured party members. She's one of my most treasured servants in my party. I love her so much. I love Arturia so much. I want her to be happy. And then I have a lot of her alts too, like I have Saber Alter, I have Saber Lily, I have Lancer Arturia, I have Lancer Arturia Alter, I have Arturia, and that's about it, yeah. Drake is really cool. Drake was actually one of the servants I really wanted to roll for, just because I really love Drake. She's such a cool character. I love her voice actress, and she just has so much charisma. I loved her role in the Okeanos Singularity. She's just such a sweet and charming character. I love her. 4 Neros? That's awesome! Nero's great. Like, you know, you can never, you can never, you can never go wrong with Nero. She's such a great unit. I love her. I have one of her 4-star unit, and I have her summer unit too. Like, I really saved for the summer Nero, for summer Nero. She's one of the servants I really wanted because I love her noble phantasm. I love her voice acting. She's one of my favorite characters. I love her. She's so cool. Oh, and wait, Dave, what do you mean you hate the saber spam? Did you just get a lot of sabers, or did you specifically get did you get like a lot of Arturia specifically? Good old Edmond Dantes! Yay! Edmond Dantes is really popular. I can understand why people like him. Yeah. He's really cool. I love his ha ha ha, his ha 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 ha. And I love how like how much, I'll be honest, I like how much he looks like Kamida. It's really funny. His backstory is really sympathetic though. I like him a lot. Yeah, I got Marie Antoinette quite a lot too. I have I accidentally burned her summer version because I kept on getting her instead of Arturia when I was trying to roll for Arturia. And I'm sad about that because I think Mary's really cute now. I like her a lot. She's really cute. Oh, like the amount of saber faces. It's been kind of a in-joke with Type Moon for a while. We just roll with it and we just see it kind of as a funny joke. That's about it. But I feel like Saber kind of deserves all that hype because she's just a phenomenal take on the King Arthur character in general. I really love her, and I feel like, you know what? If they want to give her more alts, go for it. I don't care. I love her. Like, for instance, Castoria, the most recent one, is so cute. I would die for Castoria. She is so cute. But yeah, coming back to Mary, she's very cute too. She's very sweet. Another 4-star I got frequently in the gacha was Martha, the Punch Nun. I love her. I love her. I love how much, yeah. All the Camelot characters, all the Knights of the Round Table too, are really great. They're just really compelling characters. I love the drama they have, and that's also part of the reason I'm looking forward to Lost Belt 6 too. Not just because of the potential that Mother Harlot may be in there, but also because, like, the Camelot characters, there's gonna be more Camelot characters, and I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. Nero's very good. I love Nero. Did you know, by the way, that my twin has, like, Nero at NP5? Like, she willingly, you know, rolled for NP5 Nero. That's not true. I actually know of a couple of people who love Agravain. You know, he exudes similar energies to Hubert, and I feel like people who like Hubert would also like Agravain, minus the fact that Hubert respects women and Agravain does not. Like, they have even similar appearances and stuff. Like, I feel like, you know, Agravain has a very niche fan base, but the people who are passionate about him are really passionate about him. I find him kind of funny. I find him kind of funny. Welcome to my torture dungeon. I love him. He's so funny. I think the Camelot Singularity was easily my favorite Singularity of Part 1. It really made me cry, particularly like the callbacks to Fate's Day Night, and which made me cry. And also the ending, which also made me cry. Like, the bit where Bedivere was revealed to be human and stuff, and he just, and he, you know, starts disintegrating. That bit made me cry. And when Arturia is trying, you know, Lancer Arturia, the Lion King, is trying to remember who he was, that bit really made me sob. And also the ending, too, where you know, Lancer Arturia is comforting Agravain as he dies. That also made me cry a lot. Yeah, Camelot Singularity was a lot for me. I'm so glad it's getting adapted into a movie. Once the second movie comes out, I'm gonna probably binge watch those two, because, like, I have a lot of feelings about the Camelot, the Knights of the Round Table. They're great. I love them. Actually, coming back to Artoria and rolling her, by the way, you want to know something funny? The first time I rolled Artoria was right after I completed my playthrough of Fate Root. So after I completed Fate Root, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna randomly roll the story gotcha for no reason because I just want to waste some quartz and stuff. And then boom, lo and behold, Saber comes home to me, and I'm like, oh my god! Yeah. So I was really happy about that, and since then I've been blessed by a lot of Saber rolls. Yeah, she's my most rolled for 5-star in FGO, and so she's very precious to me. Yeah, the callbacks in Camelot were really made me go ugh. Like when Masu and Da Vinci and well, not Masu and Da Vinci, when Masu and Bedivere were talking about how Bedivere was dreaming, how Bedivere, was putting Arturia to sleep and laying Arturia to sleep in the forest when she was dying. I was crying because I was thinking about the continuation of the dream scene, and oh, that's a rough scene. That's a really rough scene. Like, I think what really gets to me most about that scene is when, Bedivere, knows he's lying to Arturia, but he wants her to be, happy. He wants her to, have a peaceful dream after everything she's, fought for, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend that you can dream the same dream again. And what makes it even worse is that what's implied to be the case is that the dream she's having is like, the life she spent together, the time she spent together with Shiro and everyone else, and Fuyuki, when she just got to live like a normal 15-year-old girl and stuff, and and how she just got to live normally for that period of time and got to live happily and stuff, and that just makes it really sad. It just makes me really sad. I'm just like, oh, this poor girl. Just let her have a break. Poor girl. I have a lot of feelings about Arturia, is what I'm saying. Ugh. So yeah, that's really all I want to do. I'm getting kind of hungry and stuff, and I kind of want to pick up dinner, especially since they're doing that whole special dinner coming up at school and all, so I kind of want to pick up some stuff now. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna end the stream here now. Thank you everyone for coming along and for listening to me talk about all of this stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to everyone here, and it was a lot of fun just rambling on about my interests and my days and talking with you about this stuff. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for being with me all this time. Yeah. So, without further ado, I'll see you next time, which will be tomorrow. I look forward to showing you what I'm working on, by the way. Yeah. Bye-bye!